In this session, we will be discussing what is meant by budgetary control, and let's start off with that. So far what we have understood is, we've understood what is meant by budget. We spoke about budgeting. Now we will be understanding what is meant by budgetary control. So budgetary control is the system of controlling costs in a business or an organization with the preparation of budgets. So you prepare budgets, and with the preparation of these budgets, you try and control the costs. This methodology or this procedure, this activity of preparing the budget so that you could have your activities planned out better is what is called as budgetary control. Now, very important aspect that you have to remember in mind is budgeting is a part of budgetary control. The activity of preparing budgets is actually a subset of budgetary control. So if you have to prepare budgets, please remember that is one of the first steps that you're carrying out as a part of budgetary control. So if you have to carry out budgetary control, if you want to control your costs, if you want to control your activities in the organization, please remember you must have a budget in place. Now let's discuss the definition. Budgetary control is the establishment of budgets relating to responsibilities of executives of policy and continuous comparison of actual with the budgeted results, either to secure individual actions and objectives of the policy or to provide a basis for revision. Now, certain aspects that you have to understand from this definition which is given for budgetary control is this. Here, when you, as a part of budgetary control, one very important thing that you have to remember here is that you will be comparing the actuals with the plan. As a part of budgetary control, what will happen is you will be comparing the actual with the plan. So if you want budgetary control to effectively be performed, or if you want budgetary control to be effectively carried out, one important aspect that you have to remember over here is that you will have to compare the actual with the plan. Okay, so you will have a plan in place, and depending on that plan, you will be planning your activities. But it is not necessary that everything would have to go as per plan. It is not necessary that everything would have to go as per plan. You may have to make certain accommodations based on how real life situations work out to be. So you would then be comparing the plan with the actual. So for example, when last year union budget was presented in February, the government was not anticipating COVID. They were not anticipating lockdown. They were not expecting, or they were not anticipating a pandemic to break out. So what happened was, effective from March and then towards April, May, the entire economy had to be shut down because of the lockdown. So they were not able to generate revenues as per plan. They were not able to perform their activities as per plan, because of which they had to make certain accommodations. So the plan was something, the actuals turned out to be something else. So this comparison of the plans with the actuals is what you call as budgetary control. Now, why do you keep cross-checking the plans with the actuals? You're trying to see how far or how close are you with respect to achieving the objectives of the management. Your organization has got certain goals, your management has got a vision, your management has got certain objectives by carrying out its activities. You're trying to do a cross analysis to see how close are you with respect to achieving these goals or these objectives. That's the reason why we have budgetary control. So periodically, you would be comparing the plans with the actuals to try and understand how close are you with respect to achieving the objectives or the goals of the organization. Now, let's look at the characteristics of budgetary control. What are the qualities? What are the attributes of the budgetary control? Now, for you to have budgetary control in place, One very important aspect that you have to remember in mind is that the budgets have to be established for each functions and departments of the organization. If you must have an organizational level budget, then you must have budgets for each departments or each functional areas. Then periodically you have to do an analysis, you have to do a comparison of the actuals with the plan. It's not that you prepare the budget today and then you let go of it, you forget about it. It's not like Nirmala Sitaram would stand in front of the parliament on the first week of February. She would present the union budget to the entire country, to the entire nation, and then that's it. That's the end of it. No, no, no. It's not how it works. So periodically, the government will keep reviewing, the various departments, the various ministries in the government will keep reviewing to see how close or what is the progress. Now, why are they doing this? They are doing this because they want to understand how close is the government with respect to achieving the objectives. So if you must have budgetary control in your business, if you must have budgetary control in your organization, you must have a comparison which is carried out at a regular basis. Now, there could be possibilities that there would be a variation. There would be a deviation between what you have planned and what is the actual. So whenever there is a variation, you have to do an analysis to see what are the reasons for this deviation. You must try and understand why is there a deviation, why is there variation, why are you not so close with respect to achieving your objectives. So you must do this analysis. Okay, whenever you notice there is a deviation, you must take corrective measures. So last year's union budget, there was a huge variation because of the lockdown. So what did the government do? The government took corrective actions immediately. Government then brought in various stimulus packages to revive the economy. So why are they doing this? Because they're doing this because the government has set a target with respect to the growth of the GDP, the overall growth of the economy, with the growth of the various sectors of the economy. They have to ensure that is achieved, that is sustained, or that is accomplished. So to do so, the government may have to take certain periodical and certain corrective measures. Next thing is, from time to time, depending on whenever you notice there is a variation, whenever you notice that there is a need for correction, you must take remedial actions. You must take corrective measures. So it may not be necessary that everything would be happening as per plan. There could be deviations, there could be variations, but you have to identify what those variations are, and then immediately you should take corrective measures. So now, depending on how situations would unfold for you, you may have to take revisions, and then you have to make changes. You may have to take the revisions, and then you have to make revisions to your budgets. So this is how you go about with respect to the revision of the budgetary control. Or this is what happens with respect to the these are the characteristics of a good budgetary control system in an organization.